Hola, friends. Welcome to the Medicine, Marriage, and Money YouTube channel, the only channel for physicians who want to achieve marital interdependence and financial freedom together. On this channel, you will learn how to show up as the best version of yourself so that you can love intentionally and build a more financially savvy relationship with your spouse. And I am your host, a physician mom, a doctor's wife, a Gottman leader, a certified life and marriage coach, Dr. Kate Mangona. Welcome. Bienvenidos. Welcome, friends. Welcome in all the land. So today's episode of Medicine, Marriage, and Money, we're going to talk about high value couples and the 6 things that high value couples do not do. Okay, you want to know this. You want to know this because you want to be a high value couple. And what is a high value couple? What's high value? High value doesn't mean how much money you make. It doesn't mean the status you hold in your community or in your workplace. It doesn't mean your job. It doesn't mean how many friends you have or even how many followers you have if you're on social media. What does high value mean? It means that you know your own worth, and that's how you put yourself out there in the world. You know what you have to offer and what to value. You bring that to your relationships, to your most intimate relationship, to your relationships with your kids, to the relationships with your parents, with your in-laws, with your coworkers, everywhere you go. And you display you are acting, you are performing, you are living at your highest value. So the first thing that a high value couple, and so when you have a high value couple, it's like that times 2, right? Because you know you're high value, you know your partner is high value, and that's what makes you work. That makes you flow together. You might not always be on the same page, but you're writing in the same direction. You are reading in the same direction. You're riding the wave, whatever analogy you want to use. So the first thing that high value couples out of 6, I'm going to give you 6 things that a high value couple does not do is they don't diminish each other's goals. They don't play them down. Okay. So say my husband has a goal of, and let's just start small, something easy. Like he wants to go play pickleball. Well, my daughter is in gymnastics at the community center. So we go. I don't poo-poo his goal to go play pickleball, even though his friend can't make it that day. I'll go with him. I'm there. I'm there. I'm going to go play pickleball with him. Is pickleball my favorite? Does it bring me joy? Not necessarily a whole lot, right? Like being out there, and I think it was like 100-degree weather. However, and I did forget my hat, it brought him joy. And so that in itself was fulfilling to me, right? Like seeing his joy, how much fun he was having out there on the pickleball court brought me joy. So it's kind of like, well, what if I don't have the same interest? People ask, what if we don't have the same interests? That's fine. You don't have to be an art collector fanatic. You don't have to go out there and windsurf, but can you go and meet them? At some point, like, can you go watch them? Can you cheer for them? Can you be happy for them? How can you be supportive of them? And you may want to ask yourself, hey, if I want to be a high value couple and I don't want to diminish their goals, maybe I need to start asking them, how can I best support you in this said goal? Whether it be a physical, a sports goal, whether it be a hobby, or even the workplace, right? Whether it's like an actual work goal. Because we don't all have the same profession. You may not be married to a physician or a lawyer or the same thing that you are. You can still show up with that way, that loving way, so that they realize that. So that you are placing each other's goals and values at the top of your list. Second thing, high value couples do not do, this is uber important, live in the past. High value couples do not live in the past. They don't live in regrets and wallow in sadness of the things that have happened in the past. Now, say maybe some super traumatic event happened. Maybe find a way to heal, right? Go through some traumatic therapy, counseling, some to work through that past trauma. Okay, maybe you had a traumatic childhood. Seek out those people. Don't live there. And it may take a while, or it may take a day. It may take an hour. You will be surprised by how, if when you seek out help, therapy, counseling, coaching for things that have happened in the past that you may be dwelling on or stuck on, how quickly you are able to move forward with the help of somebody else. Because if you leave it up to yourself, chances are you're going to just think about it again and again until you practice, right? Until you learn how some self-coaching methods and get there. So living in the past tends to only cause more hurt, more pain. I will tell you, from all of the couples and women physicians I have coached, the ones who tend to live in the past, those negative emotions and those negative thoughts, and tell those negative stories, movies to themselves over and over again, tend not to be the ones who have the highest success rate. And of course, success rate is what is successful to you. What does that mean? And often they want to have a joyful life with their partner. So high value couples don't live in the past. They live in the present. They look forward to the future, right? They're always looking forward to the future, figuring out what they can build together, but they live in the present. Okay. The third thing that high value couples do not do is make each other guilty until proven innocent, or assume malintent until they find some benefit of the doubt, right? They do not assume the worst of their partner. And this goes both ways. So if you're in a high value couple, you assume the best. We're all trying here, right? Your spouse, the person you chose to be most intimate with in your life, is usually not the one who's out to get you. They're not usually your enemy. They are there because they love you. They support you. They're on this path together. And somewhere along the way, things might have gotten a little bit bumpy. They might have gotten a little bit rough or real. And this happens in life, right? This happens when you have kids, when you focus on your career too much, and you forget about the relationship. You forget that at the core, it's about relationship, connection, love. Okay. So high value couples will not assume guilty. They will not assume the worst. They will not assume malintent. Find that benefit of the doubt. Find if they're not coming home from work by 6 p.m., you assume it's because they don't want to be there, because they don't want to be in your presence. They don't want to have to deal with the kids. They don't want to have to do that task you have on your honey-do list. Why don't you assume, I don't know, before you actually talk to them, maybe they got another phone call and they couldn't hang up. Maybe their boss walked in. Maybe their employee they really need to talk to walked in. Maybe they got caught in traffic. Just watch where your mind goes when something happens and you're not happy about it and it involves your spouse. Watch that. That's your task for this week. Okay, so that's the third thing. Now, the fourth thing that high value couples do not do is negative talk, negative self-talk, negative couple talk, negative spouse talk. They do not talk negative to each other. They don't put each other down. They don't call each other failures or stupid or whatever, right? You don't do that. You build each other up. Those couples tend not to last. Those couples who are condescending to each other, Gottman would call that contemptuous. If you're living in contempt with your spouse, that is extremely unhealthy for your body at a cellular level. Okay. People who live in a contemptuous relationship actually get more illness because they don't have as many NK cells, their T cells aren't even as effective. This has been proven with the research in the Love Lab that took 40 years. Okay. So they talk each other up. And when they notice their spouse maybe going down that path of not talking to themselves the way they'd talk to them, they'd want to talk to their child, they'd want to talk to their best friend, they may point it out in a very supportive and loving way. Let's redirect here. You're feeling sad. You're feeling angry. Your feelings are valid. And it doesn't always look like that, right? If you're not a coach or a therapist, it's not going to look like that, but it will come the way let me tell you, all you have to do is feel it. When you hear your spouse self-talk, you just feel, how do I want to show up right now? Supportive, loving, and it will flow. I don't even have to tell you what to say. You just feel it and you do it. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5, the 5th thing that high value couples do not do, they don't shame each other for mistakes. Let me give you an example. I've hit my car in a pole. I don't even know, 3 times in the course of our relationship, different cars. And my husband, he's actually hit our car on a pole once that I can recall. He rubbed 2 of our cars together once. And neither of those times when I hit my car on the pole and he hit our car on something, did we shame each other, right? Like, I don't berate him for an hour when he gets home and he tells me. Does he berate himself? A little bit. I mean, he's like, beats himself up. And I do too. Like, I think that's normal. And then we have to draw each other out of it. We help draw each other out of that. Like, congratulations, you're human. You made a mistake. You messed up a little bit. Let's fall down and then get back up. That's what high value couples do, is they see their spouse fall down, they reach the hand and they help them get back up. That's number 5. Number 6, the sixth thing that high value couples do not do is they do not neglect their mental, their emotional, and their physical health. Now, studies have shown that women tend to be, or the more feminine in the relationship, tend to be the ones who seek out that help. Whether it's for your physical health, they make and keep those doctor's appointments. Whether it's for your emotional or psychological help, they bring their spouses to see the couple's coach, the couple's therapist, or even their own, right? Individual. If you can be that person for your spouse to make sure neither of you are regretting or neglecting your physical, mental, or emotional health, you're doing your job and you are living to your highest value for yourself and your spouse. Now, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right? Him, her, them, drink. That's okay. If they refuse, you are there. It's not time yet. So those are the 6 things high value couples don't do. So what do? They put each other's goals, equalize them on top with each other. Okay. They live in the present, not the past. That's 1, 2, 3. They give each other the benefit of the doubt. Number 4, they do not do self-talk and they notice and support when the other couple's doing it. 5, they do not shame. They actually say, congratulations, you're human. We made a mistake. This is how we're going to learn from it and move on. And then 6, they're going to help them keep those appointments, keep up on their physical, emotional, and psychological well-being. So much love, my friends. See you on another episode of Medicine, Marriage, and Money. If you are finding the concepts I teach in these episodes useful and want more in-depth and personalized support for your relationship, consider this your invitation to join me in creating the most connected and intimate relationship with your spouse that you could dream of. Go to www.medicinemarriageandmoney.com right now and download my 18-page medical marriage survival guide and workbook at no cost to you. I also have a 6-day marriage challenge, which goes over the 6 predictors of divorce at no cost to you. These have been known to decrease fighting, rumination, and grudges between you and your loved one. If you want to take it a step farther, really enhance the joy and connection in the most intimate relationship in your life, sign up for my 8-week Making Marriage Work program today at medicinemarriageandmoney.com. Thanks for leaving us a stellar review, subscribing, and sharing with your friends on social media. You have the power to improve someone else's life and marriage simply by sharing this episode. Much love to you and your spouse. You're exactly where you need to be in this moment. Adios, my friends. The content of this episode is not intended to be a substitute for professional, medical, or financial advice. The opinions provided on this episode are those of myself or the invited guest alone. They do not represent the opinions of any particular institution. Always seek the advice of your physician or financial advisor with any questions you may have of a medical condition or financial plan. This is for your entertainment only.